Hey guys, back with another SuperCoach video, and oh wow, round 6 was just an awful round for myself and for many people. I scored 1,984, first score under 2,000, just very disappointing, but I somehow moved up 1,085 spots, moving me up to 21,992, and I somehow won 3 out of 4 leagues, so yeah, I'll most certainly take that. And speaking of leagues, I'll just talk about them now, considering it's right here. In my own league, I beat Anthony, the biggest benders, by a couple hundred, moving me up to second spot if I was lower. But yeah, either way, I am undefeated in that league, so that's always good. And in Shorty's Supercoach League, I beat Kent's Everywhere by just under 100, and yeah, it moves me up to 2-2 and into the top 8, which is always good. And onto the team. Oh, it was awful for the most part, of course, but there were a few shining lights in defense. Rory Laird and Taylor Adams. Laird, 122. Oh man, he was really good. Of course, in an Adelaide side that beat Richmond by 76. Of course, you're gonna have some good scores coming out of that game from the Crows players, and Laird was one of them. I think 34 touches at 94%, so it's just really good stuff from him. Taylor Adams, one of many Collingwood mids who carved up the Cats mids, or just carved up the whole Cats side in general. He scored 120, not good as a Cats fan, but good Supercoach scoring wise. Zach Tui, 94, with the ball being in Geelong's defence a lot. He was bound to get a lot of touches there. He got 36. I think disposal efficiency probably brought down his score a little bit, but you'll definitely take a 94 from him. Andy Otten, only a 61. With Josh Jenkins coming back into the side, it does hamper Otten a little bit. And I'm not sure. I'm considering trading him out now, but we'll see. I'll go through the team first and I'll think about it afterwards. But anyway, Caleb Marchbank 69, so he did pretty good, and his break even is around 49, I think. So I'll give him another week or two. We'll see how it goes. Nick Newman 59, definitely not a great score by his standards, judging by how he scored previously. Lowest score, of course, and his break even's at 15, so he definitely still has more money to make. Curtly Hampton 41. Oh man, he's back to normal now. After getting that 103 last week, his break-even's at around 31, but that's probably because of that 103 still being in the system. So yeah, I'm really hoping for a good score this week. I'll definitely keep him. He's definitely in for one more price rise, but depending on what he gets next week, we'll see what his break-even will turn into. Tom Stewart, a 68. His break-even's still in the negatives, and he's definitely got more money to make, so it's a really good sign that he's been scoring better. Onto the mids, Scott Pendlebury, and did he bounce back in a big way? Of course, it had to be against the Cats. I did say last week, his scoring history against the Cats is really good. Of course, he comes up with a 149 against us, carving up our midfield. And yeah, I was close to putting the captaincy on him, but I decided to stick with Danger, and of course that turned out badly. Yeah, so Selwood and Dangerfield they just didn't have much of an influence this game, and resulted in pretty terrible scores, especially by their standards. And with the captaincy on Dangerfield, it made things a lot worse for my team. Tom Mitchell with 117 just continues to rack up the footy and continues to score well, so it's just really good stuff from him. Nat Fyfe with only a 62, it's pretty awful, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Josh Kennedy, 89. He just hasn't been able to replicate what he did in round 1, which is quite disappointing. And yeah, with Sydney playing terribly, he just continues to score quite poorly by his standards, of course. But yeah, I have other needs to attend to, so there's no sideways trades that are going to happen in terms of my midfield premiums. Of course, I would be stupid. Anyway, Paddy Cripps, first game back with him, and he scores 103, so really good stuff from him. I might as well have taken his vice-captain score, but who would have thought that Dangerfield would have only scored a 65? Like, you might as well take 100 plus from your vice captain and loophole it at this point, because some captaincy choices you just can't trust this year. But yeah, what can you do? Anyway, Paddy Cripps, he was at around, I think, 60, 61 at 3/4 time, and I thought I was going to get burnt again by him, bringing him back, but he had a massive 4th quarter, and he ended up turning up, so good stuff from him. And with the bench loophole, putting Mountford on field, I got Pal Pepper's 97, so his break-even's now down to 0, and he's got a few more weeks left in him now after that score, so it's good stuff from Sam Pal Pepper. Parfit did his hammy, disappointing, really disappointing. He wasn't scoring that great, but his play wasn't awful either, so yeah, it is disappointing, especially from a Geelong point of view. It's disappointing to have him on the sidelines for I don't know how long for, but yeah, it's just disappointing nonetheless. And he will most likely be traded out this week. And obviously Jake Barrett still hasn't been named since, I don't remember the last time he was named, like round 3, round 4. On to the rucks, both of them not great. Nankervis with a 68 and a 1-week suspension, so I'm not planning to make a trade just to avoid a 0, so I will cop the donut this week from him. And Brodie Grundy, an 83, hasn't been great scoring wise the past couple of weeks, but I feel like he should bounce back sooner or later. Onto the forward line, Luke Dahlhaus, only the 87, had a pretty slow start and injured his wrist in the 4th quarter, but that shouldn't be too much of a concern. He did play out the rest of the game. So yeah, just hope he bounces back. Jack McRae with a 102. It's good to see him ton up, but because of his 53% disposal efficiency, and he did give away a 50-meter penalty. So yeah, it could have been a lot more than just the 102. Jack Steele with 116, so just great stuff from him. Butler and Houston, 54 and 51, and both in a very similar position. Butler's break-even's at a 47, Houston's at a 42. So yeah, both only have about a week or 2 left in them. Some may be trading them out now. They've done their job, made some pretty good money, but yeah, I feel like they can beat their respective break-evens, and yeah, I feel like we'll consider trading them out next week, but for now, we'll keep them. Harley Ballick with a 78, and of course I had Zach Fisher at the end of last video, and I decided to reverse it and get in Ballick, and mainly based on the dual position status Ballick had, and it ended up being a good decision regardless, with Fisher only getting a 36, Ballick getting a 78, so I'm pretty happy about that. Not happy with the fact that Hoskin Elliott decided to drop a 125 straight after I traded him out, but yeah, I did say last week that I felt like Hoskin Elliott would be one of those guys that the Cats would just let roam around, resulting in a really high score, and there he is, a 125, season high for him. So yeah, what can you do? And of course, Pickett and Eddie on the bench not playing. In regards to trading, so I'll just sort out the team first here, but yeah, in regards to trading, I'm not quite sure where I want to go with this, but I probably will go 1 upgrade, 1 downgrade. I'm not quite sure if I want to go 2 downgrades because of the fact that there aren't too many rookies on the bubble, but I will probably go 1 up, 1 down. Well, let's see, what else do I have to do here before I trade? Just make 1 substitution. And I'll give Barrett the emergency just in case. I hope he gets named for once, please. But let's see, anything else? No. But in regards to trading, first off, we'll get Parfit out of the team and make a second trade as well, of course. And in regards to the second trade, I feel like Andy Otten, it's time to go. I feel like it is time. He's done his job. He's gotten up to 370k, which is unbelievable from him. But yeah, I feel like it is time. His break-even is still mid-50s, which is definitely beatable for him. But with Jenkins back in the lineup, I do have my doubts. He'll probably pull a Hoskin Elliott on me, but you know, I feel like it is time. And the guy I'm going to trade in for Otten is Dylan Robertson. Massive point of difference option as of right now. I think against, I think by round 6, I think only around 1 to 1.5% had him. So yeah, definitely a massive point of difference right now. I like his role, and he's definitely scoring well because of it. And yeah, I just feel like he'll be a good choice for my defense. So yeah, these are the trades I'm making: Parfit to Parsons and Otten to Robertson. So let's see how the team looks here. 20 trades, of course. Yeah, that's a little worrying, but you know, I'm still pretty confident that things will go well. But yeah, there's my defense now. We got Laird, Adams, Robertson, Tui there as the premiums. In the mids, of course, the 7 premium mids. One more spot to fill there that I feel like will be taken up by maybe Bont or Rory Sloane. I feel like the Bont will be the most likely option, considering Sloane is that expensive. I know for a guy in form such as Sloane's, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you fork out to get him, just get him anyway. But I feel like Bont, he scores well by not doing as much. He doesn't have to get that many touches to get a 140, so I just feel like he's a really good choice. But yeah, well, that's for another round. But yeah, that's my team. And probably one more thing to touch on is leagues, and we'll just take a look at the matchups we're gonna have in round 7. So yeah, in round 7, taking on the Phantom, who's 2-2 in my league. See, Toby Green, and he's got Brett Eddy on field, so he might be copying a 0 unless he trades this week, so we'll see. He's got Taranto, of course. Parfit's not playing. Harley Balik, never mind, he's going to sub in Balik. Put in the forward line, so that won't matter there, so it'll be... So it's only me copying the 0 this week in, I think, all of my matchups. That's it. In Shorty's SuperCoach League, let's take a look. Who do we have in round 7? Make SuperCoach great again. Great name. And yeah, another case of Robert and Cripps being in my team is another reason for them being my team is they are big point of difference players in my league matchups, and that's not the main of course that's not the main reason why they're in my team, not just because I have to be different, but I genuinely believe that they will score well come end of season. Especially Paddy Cripps, he'll work his way into it. He's had some really good finishes in the past couple of seasons, so I feel like I hope the same happens this year. But I feel like he'll work his way up to his best. Robertson, liked how he's gone, and yeah, I feel like he's going to score well and be a great point of difference selection. So yeah, this is my team, and yeah, there's not much more I have to talk about in this video. Yeah, so I just hope I bounce back after an awful week. So yeah, see you guys in the next video.